Hello, and welcome to episode 62 of the Movie Bros podcast. We are your hosts, Duncan and Hayden. Hello, hello.
Welcome back, everyone.
If you're new, folks, this is a weekly podcast of two brothers who pick a movie, watch that movie, dissect, discuss, ramble, rant, argue, banter, all the things you can think of for that movie. And if you're curious, we cover pretty much every kind of movie, and we cover almost every decade of movie. I mean, I feel like we've got a pretty wide spread at this point.
Yeah, I mean, we have covered this upcoming decade before, but
That's okay. And if you have suggestions on things we should be watching or should not be watching, or your opinions on the things that we say or anything like that, you can find us on Spotify, YouTube, and Instagram. Otherwise, yeah, check out the previous episodes and the special features for more content if you'd like. But Hayden, what are we talking about this week?
well, at my suggestion, this was added to our rotating list of movies we may or may not check out and do episodes on. So we are talking about the 1997 classic Princess Mononoke. Most people know this a lot, but just going to run through some information, some interesting facts, and then we'll get right into the meat of discussion. This is written and directed by Hayao Miyazaki, who needs no introduction at this point. Music is by Joe Hisaishi, who does all of his movies. Cinematography here is by Atsushi Okoi. So this has both a subbed and a dubbed version. So I'm going to read off the voice actors for both the English and the Japanese. I apologize in advance for the Japanese names. They're just I'm going to butcher them, and it's going to be what it's going to be. So the English dubs here are Billy Crudup, Billy Bob Thornton, Minnie Driver, John DiMaggio, Claire Danes, Gillian Anderson, Tara Strong, Keith David, and Jada Pinkett Smith. And then the Japanese voice actors are, and again, I apologize, Yoji Matsuda, Yoriyoko Aishida, Yuko Tanaka, Kaoru Kobayashi, Masahiko Nishimura, Tsunehiko Kamujo, Sumi Shimomoto, Tetsu Watanabe, Mitsuru Sato, Akira Nagoya, Akihiro Miwa, and Mitsuko Mori. And the two bits of trivia I have for this is that this is actually, in Japan, this is a rated R movie for them, but in the States, it's only PG-13.
Really?
It's a different rating system for them than it is for us. They're a lot more harsh on blood and violence, but a lot more loose on things like sex. So things that are more like nudity and things like that are not as harder graded, and it's kind of the reverse in the States. Like, this is only PG-13 and it is arguably very bloody, but there's no nudity, so it's not a rated R movie. The other bit of trivia I have is that this was bought for United States distribution by the Weinstein brothers. And upon viewing it, they decided to say, hey, we'll definitely release this, but we want you to cut out a whole bunch of stuff, and we want you to do this, and this. And previously, Miyazaki had released Nausicaa of the Valley of the Wind, and it had been heavily edited for the US, and he really hated how it turned out, and he completely refused to edit this one. And the message he sent them was, he sent them a samurai seppuku sword. It's what they would use to kill themselves honorably, with a note that said no cuts. And this apparently was such a strong threat that they didn't change anything about the movie, and it was released as it is. But, just in general, fuck the Weinstein brothers. So
Fair, also fair. Okay.
Well, I hope I didn't betray my thoughts about this movie too much, but I feel like you probably already know them. That being said, Duncan, what did you think?
I liked it more than Spirited Away.
Fair.
But I still I think this the medium, or the style, it's not for me. I don't know what it is.
That's fair.
I thought I could see I could see how this, I kind of figured out the story pretty early on and how it should have flowed, and I feel like there was just some I don't know. I feel like I somewhere in there cut out 20 minutes. I don't know. I just felt like
well, what
there was some drag.
Because it's It's only 2 hours. It's not actually that long.
I felt like it drug a little bit. I don't know. It's 2 hour 15. So that's why I was like, dude, cut out 15-20 minutes.
Okay. I mean, I personally wouldn't, but that's just me. I don't know if we ever. I think we actually forgot to give ratings to No Sudden Move.
Did we? I don't
Yes.
remember. Oh, well, whoops.
So let's lead with ratings this time so we don't forget.
Yeah, maybe we should just do that. I would give this like a 3.5. Like I generally liked it. I get it. I get why people like it a lot. The I liked the theme music was great. The animation, I get that it is very beautiful. I don't know. For some reason I can't connect to it.
That's okay. I mean, not everything lands for everyone. Like, clearly, we have had movies in the past that you have been like super in with, and it didn't
Sure.
land for me. So that's okay.
And you're at what?
I am at a 4 out of 5. This isn't my favorite Studio Ghibli movie, even of like the good ones. I still think it's really, really good, but I don't like how it ends. I think it feels like it's building up to something like this big battle, and yet technically the battle happens, but I don't like that the main leads survive. I feel like it's better
Mm,
thematically if they both die saving the forest and they, become part of the spirit god, because it feels like that's what it's trying to do, and then they just wake up at the end like nothing happened. Other than that,
yeah.
though, I think it's really, really good. I will say, so maybe a bit of Hayden lore here. I was in anime club in high school, sort of, and that's where I first watched this.
I
And I
completely forgot
watched
that
it.
was a thing.
Well, so okay, technically it wasn't anime club, it was called comic book drawing club, but that was because anime club was banned at Kentwood when I was there because some shenanigans and stuff I'm not going to get
Hmm.
into, but
Sure.
essentially comic book club just kind of devolved into anime club again, which whatever, but that is where I was first exposed to a lot of different things from Japan, this being one of them,
Sure.
and that's where I first saw this. When I saw this, I saw it with the Japanese voice actors. This is the first time I had seen it with the English voice actors, so I rewatched it this time with the English voice actors on to see which one I prefer. And I think I like the Japanese voice actors better. Not that the English ones are bad, but I feel like, I think a couple of them don't do as good a job. That's all.
Okay.
It's a long winded way to get to that, but.
It was nice that I could at least like they weren't such big names that I'm like, oh, it's so and so, but like it was enough where I'm like, oh, I recognize that voice.
Mm hmm. Mm hmm.
Crudup, Gillian Anderson, and oh god, I was thinking about it, but he was married to Angelina Jolie for a while.
Oh, Billy Bob Thornton?
Yeah,
See, his is the voice that I don't think is as good. I think he has to pack a lot of dialogue into scenes which the Japanese voice actor has less syllables when it's conveying the same sentence. So he has to rush his words a lot, I think.
hmm.
And so well, again, you wouldn't know that because you've never seen the Japanese one, but like I don't know. It was weird to watch some of his scenes, and it felt like he was really running through his words to try and make his scene make sense. Because that's a common problem with lots of dubs.
Interesting.
I wasn't wild on his voice. I didn't really care for the not Moru, the big wolf, but one of the other two smaller wolves, I think, had a more interesting sounding and Japanese voice actors behind it. But
Hmm.
those are kind of small in the grand scheme of things.
Sure.
The question I think lots of people get after they watch this is that this has some subtle and not so subtle similarities between Avatar. Which do you believe conveys its environmentalism message better?
I mean, I get that like people can relate them, but I think they're pretty different. Like I would say people should compare Avatar with Dances with Wolves a lot more than this.
I think that one is the closer one, but I've seen
I
it
get it, but like,
compared. Yeah.
well, again, I think both of those. these kinds of movies where they're doing a lot of environmental stuff, they're not usually that subtle. Like you can kind of tell pretty early on exactly the
Yeah,
underlying thing that they're trying to promote,
and
and
and that is my other issue with the
pretty
ending.
hammered on. Like it's pretty like shoved down your throat for most of it.
Well, I feel like comparatively, I think Avatars is a lot more ham-fisted.
Sure.
And well, but to be fair, this one is a lot more, at least in some respects, ambiguous and open-ended in its morals, where yes, there are some villains and there are some heroes that are easily and obvious to point to. I think everyone is a lot more nuanced in their motivations, because in Avatar it's like, oh, we're the evil military, we hate blue monkey people, and that's kind of it. I like
Hmm.
that at least in this, Irontown isn't completely evil, nor is Minnie Driver, who plays the leader
Hmm.
princess.
I
I
can't think
forget
of
what
her
her
name,
name
but
is.
yes.
Like, she's, oh, I'm not just digging for iron. I'm giving all these people better lives. I'm creating jobs. I'm building a community, and it's not explicitly slave labor, but it is kind of slave labor in the same way. I like that it shows that Mononoke is sometimes wrong in her blind hatred of humans, and that she's killing innocent people in Irontown. I like that she's shown to be incorrect sometimes. I don't want to dominate all the conversation though, Duncan. So what would you like to bring up?
Yeah, so my notes. Right off the bat, I thought the first monster
Very
interesting,
cool.
very
I like how he
cool.
looks like he's covered in slugs made out of oil.
Uh-huh. Uh I don't know how like uh the monster though at the end that was like again both basically just like oily goop.
I do think comparatively the opening boar monster was
Mhm.
more visually interesting
Yes.
than the boar monster at the end.
Yes.
Even though I think at the end it's more symbolic.
Sure. I feel like as I was saying that once you see like the I can't Ashi whatever his name is main guy
Billy Crudup,
uh thank you whatever sure
sure.
start getting angry and using his like newfound like fuck up people with his arm
Yep.
stuff. I'm like okay like again you can kind of see like I think I lost interest because I felt like I already saw more or less the whole beat of the movie pretty early on. And while the movie is
Well,
beautiful and I still enjoyed it, I just didn't feel like uh not surprised, but like I don't know what the right like there wasn't like intrigue. I don't if that's the right word.
hmm. I do think it's interesting, and maybe you can tell me if this is correct or not, because I'd seen it before, but I think there's maybe an American media like expectation of, oh, he's going to turn into the big monster by the end. Because if this was like, you know, DreamWorks or something to put this out, the ending battle would be him succumbing to like the big, you know, demon rash on his arm. And I feel like
Sure.
this definitely backs away from that instead.
Yeah, which I do appreciate that. Um and like honestly some of the fighting stuff where he's fucking people up where just like arms and heads and shit are going like that's dope. I'm here for that.
Oh yeah, for sure. So one of the like big criticisms I have of this movie, which I know is not a popular opinion, is that I think it is very poorly titled,
Well, yeah,
and that
it's not about
the
her.
movie is not about Mononoke at all. I think that, and that title itself is, I think, said maybe once. Like,
Yeah, she's a side character.
yeah, and she's referred to as San for the whole movie. The only time we ever hear Princess Mononoke ever like said out loud by anyone else is by Minnie Driver's like character when she's over in Irontown saying, "Oh, hey, it's that person," and then it's never mentioned again.
And like I get it for maybe Mark like the poster where it's her and the wolf. It's that's fucking sick, dude.
It is cool, but
But
like
yeah, I
it should have
agree.
been named like, I don't know, like spirit of the forest or something like that. Because like it's not really about her.
At all. Yes.
Although I do think she is a more interesting character than Billy Crudup because he is just kind of the everyman pacifist who I want everyone to be. His character in this is essentially the guy who goes to the football games with the comedic sign of "I just hope both teams have fun."
Well, I feel like he is the like classic protagonist, like kind of lifeless. Like anyone could be him,
That's true.
but this also just doesn't make him interesting.
Like they try to be like, oh, he's coming from a faraway village and there's some sort of vague history there, but then that's kind of completely forgotten as soon as we get to
Yeah,
Irontown
they
and
reference it
is
a
never
few
mentioned
times.
again.
Yeah, but otherwise do basically nothing from it.
Like it would almost be more vague and more interesting if he was a nameless traveler and just happened to essentially stumble into the situation like he does anyway.
Yes, they don't really need all of that at all. Maybe
No,
that's where
and
they trim it out time
I,
wise.
I
I don't
think
know.
I think maybe so because I think if you open instead with him going into Irontown and being like, "Oh hey, I have this big ball of fucking metal. What's up with that?" and we then get some exposition from him about some vague backstory he has. We cut out all that stuff where he meets Billy Bob Thornton in the village where they have to explain what gold is,
Mm-hmm.
which is still a cool scene. It
Sure.
doesn't really do much for the story, though, I feel, other than show that Billy Bob Thornton meets him, but then that doesn't. I feel like that doesn't further either of those two characters.
I've noticed that when you and I have any kind of issue with something, it's usually, I mean, it's not 100%, but it's
A
usually
lot
just
of it's
goes down
timing.
to timing or editing. Yeah.
Let's see what else did I have down.
I now understand why so many people have certain tattoos referencing this fucking movie. Like literally on my
Yep.
drive home from work tonight, like an hour ago, I was like, oh, there's the little like
Oh, the
forest
little
spirit
like
little guys
yeah.
on the back of someone's car. I was like, oh, I understand this now.
Um, I mean, I think even Morgan has a tattoo of the line "to see with eyes unclouded by hate" because
Hmm.
that's his answer for like, oh, what are you going to go do in the forest? Oh, I'm going to go see with eyes unclouded by hatred. As much as I like the unique design of the forest god being like this elk that can walk on water with chicken feet and has the face of a man. Its face is so uncanny looking, and maybe that's the point, but like it comes across as goofy to me. It doesn't come across as like mystical. It comes across as like it's a badly drawn on mask or something. It always looked weird.
Well, it doesn't feel it does it feels it doesn't feel nature esque, the mask part. Like the rest of the body, everything, yes, but yeah, the face should be just more animalistic.
Sure, and I also never understood why he isn't bigger because we have the boar god, and it's the size of a bus, and then we have Moru, the big like lead wolf, and again, it's like the size of a moose or something. And then the forest god, that's supposed to be, essentially the king over everyone, is just kind of the same size as a deer. I mean, granted, yes, he does have his night walker form where he becomes a giant like gelatinous spirit, but I've always been confused why they did that design choice.
Yeah, I'd be curious maybe like looking at concept art for because sometimes that can change a lot from start to finish. But
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, subject jump, but I literally saw I was looking at concept art for a bunch of Star Wars stuff where while the person or character that they made the concept art for looks entirely different, they still use the concept art for a
Hmm.
different character, which
I
is
think
pretty
you sent that
interesting.
to me. It is very interesting.
Yeah.
I would love to. I mean, going off that tangent, I would love to have some of the concept art books from Ralph McQuarrie. I think dude's just incredible. That's a
Uh,
different conversation.
okay. I don't know who that is,
Different
but all right.
conversation. He,
Okay,
he,
all right.
he was like the original concept artist for A New Hope.
Oh yeah, I bet that'd be really cool.
Yeah, but back onto Princess Mononoke. Um,
Yeah,
so obviously, do you feel like this is better than Tales of Earthsea?
I would say definitely better than Tales of Earthsea. I think it's better than Spirited Away.
I absolutely think it's better than Spirited Away because this has a plot.
Yeah.
I think
Would
actually
I?
animation wise, I think Spirited Away is more impressive, but
Hmm.
story wise, this one definitely is better.
Sure. Would you recommend this to everyone?
So circling back to something I said earlier about the ratings, I would not recommend this to kids. I think,
No.
especially in the third act, there's a lot of blood, there's a lot of violence,
Hmm.
but I would say in general, this is a very good movie to recommend about pretty much everyone. For being this like historic and in many ways influential movie, it is surprisingly crowd pleasing and like available to most audiences, I think.
And does it bucket
That's actually a really good question. I don't know. This doesn't have a whole lot of like
things?
physical things you can make a bucket out. I mean, if you want to get morbid, you can make a bucket out of the severed head of the forest god from the last 20 minutes of the movie, but that will probably go over
Eh,
poorly.
I was thinking more like something to do with the big wolves, like a wolf
Yeah,
mouth or head or something. But even that, like, it's not. I don't know.
I mean, I guess you could stretch it to say, oh, we could use the Iron Town's like helmets, but they're not.
Eh,
I would say the Iron Town outfits are all recognizable, but they're not very distinct. So I don't know if that would be a good idea either. I would actually say no, it doesn't,
okay.
which is weird. But I
Not
no,
every movie buckets.
I don't think it does. Well, I mean, it was 1997. They weren't thinking about that.
Sure. Anything else to add before we head on to something else?
Does this movie make you want to try out the other Studio Ghibli movies? Out of
Uh,
curiosity,
I mean,
there's there's
it's one of those.
there's there's no right answer. I'm just curious.
I would say if someone's like, "Oh, this is what we're watching," sure, I'll sit down and watch it. But I'm not. I'm at
That's
a point
fair.
now. I was like, okay, I've now seen technically three of these,
That's fair. That's
and
fair.
I'm like, again, I'm not. Again, I get it. I see why someone would like this. I just know I don't have a huge affinity. Maybe it's. I don't know if I discovered it too late,
That's
but
that's that's entirely possible.
because I could definitely see like, oh, there might be a sweet spot for age, and
Yeah.
maybe high school or around that time is that sweet spot, and I'm about a
Well, it's
decade too
like
late.
I think that's also something that you could say about like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh,
Like,
I could not give any less of a shit, dude.
well, right, but like it's again growing up in like the early 2000s, that was huge for people who
Sure.
were in middle school and high school for me. Like, but
Yes.
I think if you were to give that to someone who had never seen it and was my age, like middle 30s, they wouldn't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that might just be the reason for this stuff because yeah, I just can't
Yeah, that's
connect. I
fair.
don't know.
That's all fine.
Um, yeah, yeah.
Well, we're going to move on to things we've watched, things we're looking forward to, things we want to spoil for our other companion podcasts. So, Duncan, what have you been watching?
Well, this should be interesting because I mean, obviously, if you want a little bit more of a rundown on all this stuff, I'd say check out Dunk's Movie Corner. But this last week, I went to a drive-in movie theater up on Whidbey Island,
Cool.
and so very fun. I highly recommend it. It's called the Blue Fox Drive-In. It's cheap. The venue's cool. The snack shack is stocked. Uh, yeah, it was generally very like classic American like summer vibes. Just very fun. Um,
If I were
so
to
I
go, could I get alcohol there, or is
yes,
it
they have a
like,
bar.
oh, okay, just curious. I mean, I don't want that. I don't want that to sound like my only question. I'm just kind of curious.
I mean, okay, so they have a bar and they have like a pretty like they have a they're full like you can get actual food
Hmm.
and like just popcorn and snacks like that. But then like around the corner, yeah, they've got a bar, and they say, oh, don't bring in your own food or beverages because please buy from our snacks and stuff because that's how we stay in business, and that's
Yeah,
fair. But I also definitely brought in things to drink and eat, so
sure.
just things that anyway. Uh, so they started with the Bad Guys 2, which I had not seen the first Bad Guys, which is the Sam Rockwell, who I love, animated movie. And
From what
this
I
was
understand, you don't need to.
you absolutely you do not need to at all. They basically recap it in about a minute and a half, and you're like, cool, I've got it. Sam
See, because
Rockwell, Mark Maron.
I have seen the first one, and I I mean, it is absolutely an incredibly predictable kids movie,
Yes.
but I really like
And
the animation style.
honestly, that's what I was gonna say. Like the second one, again, like it's very predictable, but yeah, the animation was actually pretty cool. Um, I still, I don't know what it is. I don't love Aquafina in like anything.
Oh, no one does. She's
Uh,
awful.
yeah, Craig Robinson though, he's great.
Hmm.
There's several characters in this that like the voice acting is good. But from there they showed Jurassic World Rebirth, and I was like, okay, now Hayden and I have now both seen this,
I
and
feel like our opinions will be different.
we'll see. So some context here, folks. A lot of people saw this movie and had not great opinions about it, and whereas Hayden, I feel like if you just want to pipe in here, had some more positive thoughts.
I want to preface it was I went in with really low expectations, but I thought it was decently fun. I thought the music was good. I thought the cinematography was really nice. No, it might not be the most intelligently written movie, especially in the genre of Jurassic Park, but I thought it was perfectly fine. I had a good time.
And honestly, if it, to that extent, I would agree. Like the writing, yes, I agree, was not great. There's
Like
a
I would say that it's definitely better than both Dominion and Fallen Kingdom. I would still say that just Jurassic World, like the first one with Chris Pratt, is still better.
there's this like socialist subplot of like uh giving this like cure for heart disease to everyone versus a big tech. Like it was kind of a push. I don't feel like it just what I
Yeah,
think worked best for the original. It is a very clear, simple plot. There's not a lot of I
there's
don't
not a
know.
lot of extra subplots trying to tack on them to hide
Yes,
the simple plot.
and where that plot was not in the movie, the dinos were cool. The again, the cinematography and like the coloring on the like the CGI was
Hmm.
fantastic. I think. Um, I didn't really give a shit about the like mega bad D Rex hybrid
Well,
mutant thing.
I feel like that's not your fault because they only show it in fog for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, for
And that
like
is a problem that Gareth Edwards, the director, has with pretty much everything that isn't Rogue One. He really likes to hide the big threats in mystery. I think
well
more than he
I think
should.
that's fine, but they also like it just also wasn't in the movie much at all. Like for like it being like the main starting sequence was all about that, and a good portion of the ending sequence was all about that. Like it didn't really add like
I
it's not
agree. It should
really
have
in the
been more
movie.
present.
Yeah, like honestly, like I think they could have gotten rid of that and just had the classic T Rex vibes.
Well, or maybe not even just like the crowd. Or maybe not even just the classic T Rex vibes. Make it about all of the flying ones because those
Oh
were
yeah,
cool.
those were dope, dude. The little feathery
Like
bits on the top, those were sick.
like the whole bit where they're in the like on island convenience store and it's chasing them around on the inside.
Yes.
That's fantastic stuff.
Hmm.
Don't know why I did that with my voice just there. It's
That's
really great stuff in that
fantastic
scene.
stuff.
Yeah, I heard it back in my head a minute after I said it.
So I saw that, and I would give that, I'd give that a solid 3 out of 5. Like,
Yeah.
not horrible, not amazing. And again, also, and you and I have talked about this before, but where you see a movie can make as much a difference as like the movie itself. And
Oh
seeing
yeah.
like a Jurassic Park movie
I feel
at
like
a
that's definitely the
drive-in
way to do it.
theater, that was pretty fucking cool.
Just
We
like
did
I
not.
know that when they re-release Jaws, sometimes you can do a float in where you can watch it like a pool.
Sure.
I
Yeah,
feel
that'd be
like that would be
cool.
cool.
I think that'd be very cool. Speaking of Jaws, that was the third because they did a triple header. That was supposed to be the third movie that night, but when World Rebirth ended at like 12:30,
Oh yeah, you were
I
dead.
was like, dude, I can't do another 2 hours. Like I also spent like a full day like on
Yep.
island doing shit. I'm done.
Hmm.
Uh, but then the let's see, that was Sunday. So on Monday night, I watched Caught Stealing, the new
Was it good? Was it
2025
bad?
Darren Aronofsky starring
Austin
Austin
Butler,
Butler, Zoe Kravitz, Regina King, Matt
Liev
Smith,
Schreiber.
Vincent D'Onofrio, Bad Bunny. I don't want to spoil it because I do hope you see. I like He's in it.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I mean, it's just like his role in like
Bullet Train.
Bullet Train, very minor. Like he's there, but
Okay.
he's not a main character. I liked it a lot. The trailers are a little misleading, where people say it's a crime comedy. It is not a crime comedy. It's a lot darker, and again, I think that's just a Aronofsky like staple of like
Yeah.
his stuff is usually not very positive.
Oh, his
Where I
stuff is
will,
usually like as bleak as possible. So
yes, and this is like, I think this is the best you're gonna get on a positive note from him.
that's fair.
There's a lot of cinematography that's really really cool. I think it's a really cool like representation of New York in the 90s.
Oh, it's not set in the
Uh
modern day.
no, no, it's like early 90s or no, yeah, it's like 1994 or
Oh,
something like in New York. Uh
okay.
yeah, no, it's really cool. That's why like the Matt Smith is all like punk because that was the age of like punk. Yeah, I don't want to spoil anything, but
Because
it's
I'd be looking forward to watching it. So
I would recommend it. If yeah, if you see it in theaters, great. If not, I think it's that it would be okay to not watch in theaters. And that's more or less everything I've seen this week. Yeah.
well, I have a couple things I watched, and then one from like 2 weeks ago because I forgot to mention it last time. I'll just bring it up real quickly here. I watched a 1950s version of the Odyssey called Ulysses, which stars Kirk Douglas when he was like 20. And honestly, for like 1954, it's not that bad. Like it's pretty good, all things considered. Like there are some dated things, like the music is not good, and the effects are a little bit silly looking. But as far as like just straight adaptation, you hit all the things you want to hit. All the plot line is there. Kirk Douglas isn't that, he does okay. Like for a 1954 adaptation, I kind of enjoyed it. If you are interested in tracking it down, though, it is difficult or nearly impossible to find a version that isn't in Italian. So keep that in
Okay.
mind. It was a whole rights holder thing. It was produced by an Italian company, so took a very long time to track down a version that was in English. And I also watched that at the parents' house because they were interested in watching. I'm like, I'm already here. Why not? Let's see. I rewatched um, Pirates of
Pirates
the
of the
Caribbean
Caribbean.
2, Curse, or not Curse of the Black Pearl. It's the first one. Pirates of the Caribbean 2, Dead Man's Chest, which is my favorite Pirates movie, but I fully understand that lots of people prefer the first one. I love the music. I love all the action. I think Davy Jones as
Looks
both.
amazing.
I mean, it is a 20-year-old movie and it looks incredible. It came out in 2005, I think. Like, it looks amazing. But I also like him as a concept, as like he's not just a person, he is a force of nature. He's like, he's the Grim Reaper. I love that idea. I think that's very cool.
That one's good. I feel like it's really when they get to the
I
third
think they
one,
lose the plot with number 3, and then after
there's
that
the
they
plot's out
lose.
the fucking window, dude.
Well, no, no, no. I mean, lose the plot as in they misunderstand what makes the first two work so well. Is that yeah, they are doing fantastical stuff, but it's still kind of grounded. The third one, oh, we're gonna travel to the afterlife. Oh, we're gonna circle a whirlpool and for
Oh, and
like
summon this giant
30
black lady that
minutes.
turns into crabs. Yeah.
Yeah, like there are still some redeemable qualities in number 3, but it's so it quite literally jumps the shark in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
So I watched that. Something else as well. It was a horror movie and it wasn't good. I can't remember what it was called though.
It was that good. Yeah.
Well, sometimes. It was I watched The Curse of La Lorna. Not good at all. I was curious to see what the director of the upcoming Conjuring Last Rites had done other than uh Conjuring 3, and boy howdy was this movie some ass. Um just really stupid. Just I have a term I talk about on my podcast that I haven't released yet, but that'll be coming in October. Where you have to earn your jump scares, where you have to build your atmosphere, you have to build your tension to where when you just throw a scary face on screen and scream at you, it feels earned and you don't feel like you've just been thrown a cheap trick out of like, Spirit Halloween or something. That was this whole movie. It just so lame and not fun. So hopefully that doesn't bode well for my showing tomorrow evening. And then I'm going to segue into I'm going to be watching Conjuring Last Rites tomorrow after work. So I'm looking forward to that a lot. But yeah, Curse of La Lorna, not good.
Well, I hope. Yeah, I hope the next one you watch tomorrow is good.
Yeah, me too. Well, what are you looking forward to? Any trailers out? Anything looking interesting?
Anything new? I feel like we referenced this maybe last week. I think it was last week. The Long Walk with
Yep.
the guy from
Mark
Licorice
Hamill.
Pizza and Mark Hamill. What else?
Let's see, there's
Oh,
a trailer out.
Knives Out has got a theatrical release, which I'm very happy about.
Hell yeah.
I'm very very happy about that.
Oh yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, I wasn't being sarcastic. Yeah, that
No,
sounds
I
awesome.
know. And
Um,
Frankenstein also theatrical release. That's great.
they're having their theatrical release on my birthday, October the 18th.
What I did see though that I think is a mistake is they're doing Knives Out this at the exact same time as Wicked, and Wicked is going to
Oh
dominate
yeah.
the box office. Like,
Oh yeah.
dude, pick a different day.
It's gonna get destroyed.
Like, I get that. Like, generally, like if you look backwards, they usually keep releasing Knives Out around Thanksgiving ish time. But like, dude, just even if you release it like a week later, like that it just seems foolish.
Well, yeah.
Either way,
See, there was a trailer out for the new version of Wuthering Heights, and
which I mean, I
looks
like
awful.
her.
I like Margot Robbie. I will tolerate Jacob Elordi.
Yeah,
I think I mean granted, if I'm gonna be talking about like literary classics, especially from like female writers, I'm gonna steer more towards Jane Austen than I am Emily Bronte. But this looks to completely misunderstand the tone of the story and make it as like uncomfortably and weirdly sexual as possible, being done by the same people who did Saltburn, so I guess that kind of makes
that
sense.
makes sense.
But like this is like that's not what this story is. It doesn't
I
need to
mean,
be
I know nothing
weird
about the
porn.
story.
It's about it's not worth going into at this point. It's this adaptation looks like it's doing pretty much everything as like provocative as possible.
Well,
That's not what the book is.
granted, that's the trailer, and I feel like that's the kind of thing that would probably entice a lot of people.
I mean, maybe, but on some level, the trailer, unless we're talking about caught stealing, is indicative of the movie. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But
Have to
just
wait and
based on the
see.
trailer, not jazzed.
Let me quickly see if I've sent you anything else. I mean, the Tron double feature sounds dope.
I was just gonna get that. So they're releasing Tron Legacy and then premiering Tron Ares back to back. I genuinely think we should go.
I'm
That
super
sounds
down
like
for
it's
that.
gonna kick ass. That's gonna be awesome. I'm not super enthusiastic that it's being broadcast in 3D, but just because 3D rarely looks good, and I think is a gimmick. But still, I think we should do it. I think that'll be great.
Well, that's on a Wednesday. It looks like
I don't want to open any tabs because I feel like it'll mess
it's
up
a Wednesday.
stuff. But I think we should do it.
Okay, I am in. I literally just put it on my calendar.
Cool.
Let's see. Is there anything else that I've sent you? Oh yeah, who is asking for another Ice Age movie? What the fuck?
I thought that was a joke when you sent me
I
that.
thought so
There's
too for a
no
second. I was like,
way.
wait a minute.
Who's asking for this? There's no way that's real. Yeah. Who is asking for Ice Age Boiling Point? That's a terrible idea. And then I think something we should mention probably is that um, Regal Theaters is releasing a whole bunch of like legacy movies, but I think we should go and do some stuff like that because Regal is closer to me than normal.
Yeah, I'm sure we could, figure something out at least. Yeah.
And then on Halloween, Back to the Future, the first one is coming back to theaters, which I think could be fun.
It,
Back to the Future is a lot of fun. It doesn't scream Halloween to me, but it could be
that's the
fun.
thing. I was like, this doesn't really feel very Halloweeny, but all right.
I'll see. But Toxic Avenger is currently out in theaters. Anyone have
I
any interest in that?
Nope.
Nope. Yeah, me neither. Let's see. In 2 weeks, that football horror movie, Him, comes out.
It could be interesting.
I'm gonna wait for some reviews. I think.
Oh yeah, I'm not like paying money to go see it opening week or anything, but like,
No.
yeah,
There's
maybe.
a There's a Brendan Fraser uh, dramedy called Rental Family, which I think looks interesting, but it's probably going to be
I think
sad.
that's a feel good about Brendan Fraser kind of vibe.
Sure. Um, and then Black Phone 2, which I know you have no interest in, but I really enjoyed the first one, so I'll be watching that. And then they put out a trailer for 28 years later, The Bone Temple, which
Which,
after watching the, let's say, mistake that was 28 years later, I am so not interested in this.
but what if it fixes everything you wanted fixed?
I don't feel like it will. The problems are ingrained with where they chose to take the story.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, is there anything else you want to talk about before we sign off? Leave us with an hour
Well,
clean.
you can find Princess Mononoke on HBO Max, and
Next
for our
week
next episode, yeah, we'll be watching Horrible Bosses, which
is our first
Charlie
full
Day,
comedy.
yeah, full comedy. Charlie Day, Jason Bateman,
Jason
and Jason
Sudeikis.
Sudeikis, and Colin Farrell, and Kevin Spacey, and what is that? Jennifer Aniston?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a lot of
Uh,
fun. It's definitely from like early 2010, but it's still a lot of fun.
I know I mean I know of it, but I've never seen it, so I'm looking forward to something kind of light and fun. So that's on Netflix, folks. If you want to check that out, as always, if you want to leave comments on anything we've said on this episode or anything previous, or if you listen to anything post, let us know. Yeah, this has been episode, what did we say, 62
62.
of the Movie Bros podcast. We have been Hayden and Duncan, and we shall say goodbye, goodbye.
Goodbye. Join us next time.